Go ahead.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of House of Ways and Means. It is Turn Down Friday. We got pizza, we got wings, we got a couple other things. We're doing party food tonight. Supermarket Aldi's. They're building more and more of them around the U.S. So we were out there. We were able to come up on a few things that were on sale. We got this cheeseburger pizza. I know some of you may have had it. I know they have one at Papa John's. It's a little odd to have dill pickles on your pizza, but you know, we're gonna try it out today. It was cheap. We're hungry. We got some, these are chicken strips. We got some jalapeno poppers right here, and then we got mozzarella cheese sticks.
These are the artichoke and spinach poppers.
Oh, artichoke and spinach poppers for the artsy crowd. So
they also have some cream cheese in there, but it's good.
We're gonna get right into it.
I'm gonna try this first, actually. Okay, super good. We also got a little bit of homemade marinara sauce. I just took some regular pizza sauce or pasta sauce and added some garlic, Parmesan cheese. Not as though we needed any more cheese, but warmed it up.
So the first thing I can notice about this is the dill pickle. It's like it's soaked all into the sauce and into the pizza. I actually like dill pickles though, so it's not a huge deal, but I can see how this might turn somebody off.
I don't really care for pickles, so we'll see how I feel about it once I try it out. So just last night we were having this conversation about, well, not last night, but earlier, a few days ago. We were having a conversation about cartoons and the type of cartoons that we like, and sometimes you realize how much you age yourself when you talk about these things, because the cartoons younger people talk about, I'm like, I don't remember that. They don't remember the stuff I'm talking about. What were your favorite cartoons as a child?
I mean, when I was a little kid, so my dad is really into cartoons. Like, my dad's like a big kid, so when I was little, he used to always be watching, it was like the 80s, so He-Man, Transformers. So he would have these things on in the early morning before he would go to work. And we were like real little, like not even school age. So we would come down in the morning and see him off. And my mom would still be asleep though. And so he would leave for the day, and we would just sit down there and just watch TV. Now, you know, my mom, it's not like they were not in a loving marriage. What happened was my mom got pregnant somewhere around that time with my youngest brother. So she would just be knocked out in bed late. And so we would just be watching TV, sitting there watching the cartoons he left on for us. So I really liked He-Man and Transformers. My dad really liked Scooby-Doo, which I don't like as much, but I mean, that was the one that I remember watching a lot. But if I had one, when I got a little older, there was a cartoon called Tiny Toons. So that was one that I really remembered liking. It was like the story of like the nieces and nephews and grandchildren of the original Looney Tunes, like Bugs Bunnies, Daffy Ducks, all of them. They had kids and grandkids or whatever, and they were at this Acme University. The whole thing was the Acme Looniversity. It was like this school that they were like basically learning the techniques from the older cartoon characters. But it was like these smaller shorts and stuff. So I really like that one. I can admit now that as an adult that I used to watch the cartoon Gem. It was like the only like girls cartoon that I actually watched. It was like about a girl with a punk rock band. The thing is, I was so young, I barely remember it, but it was like so 80s. Like all the people had like the high shoulder pads and the crazy hair. What else? Of course, like Batman. When the Batman cartoon came out, with the serious one that had the Joker and the Penguin and Two-Face and Poison Ivy, that was a real good cartoon. That was like in the mid 90s, and then they had X-Men, of course. What about you?
I like Flintstones and the Jetsons, you know, the whole age of that stuff, when all that stuff came out. I like that. I wouldn't say one of my go-tos though was, okay, what you doing? Cut up on your cheeseburger pizza, okay. I see it, I feel it, I taste it.
Makes sense, right?
Makes sense. I don't know if I want to try it though, but but yeah, so like Flintstones, Jetsons, that whole kind of thing that came out, and then I also really liked Care Bears, and then I liked My Little Pony, and then I'm super like girls in the whole situation. I like Smurfs, but I could have take it or leave it. One of my favorite joints, besides the Tiny Toons that he mentioned already, I also like, what was it, Rescue Rangers? Man, Chip and Dale. Yo, that joint was like, you had that joint come on, you like running to the TV so you can watch it. And you know, growing up in the Virgin Islands, I heard about this Saturday morning cartoon thing, but for us, it just kind of, run reruns that kind of came on at random times. So I never even knew like what was going on, but Chip and Dale, man, you couldn't miss an episode of that. Of course, the Batman, there's the Transformers. I also watched He-Man. So all that stuff was great, man. If I had to pick one, I don't know. I feel like it would be between Chip and Dale, or maybe like Animaniacs. I don't know, man. I kind of decided it's just too many. They were just great. I feel like the cartoons these days it's like nowhere close. Granted, I don't really watch them like that, but
I used to like Animaniacs, but I didn't love it because I didn't like it as much as Tiny Toons because there was too much singing. I was not into that. It was like a Broadway show.
It was like a Broadway cartoon.
They were always singing these songs. I was like, I can do without that. Now, Chip and Dale, I remember Chip and Dale because that was part of the Disney Afternoon. So I don't know if this was national or just where I lived. They have this thing called the Disney Afternoon. And it was like ran from like 2 to 4 or something like that. And it was just 4 Disney cartoons. And whenever they would create a new one, they would shift them all back. So I think the very first 4 were Gummy Bears,
Gummy Bears,
DuckTales, Chip and Dale, and Tailspin. So
Tailspin.
Eventually, a couple years later, they came out with Darkwing Duck.
Oh yes.
They bumped Gummy Bears off the front, which I never watched. It was too early, first of all, because I mean, you know, you're like in school, you don't have time to be able to see a 2 o'clock cartoon. And then after Darkwing Duck, a couple years later, they came out with the Goof Troop. So that was like a show with Goofy and his kid Max, and so that bumped off to whatever the first one was at that point. So after that, around that time, I kind of started watching cartoons. I became Latchkey Kid, and then I wasn't watching cartoons anymore. I just wanted to like, because we got the internet pretty early. I was all about that.
Yeah, awesome. But so I have younger siblings. So when they wanted to watch their cartoons, I was kind of like, no, I want to watch Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. I wanted to watch all that stuff. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? You don't remember that?
Yeah, I remember it.
And then,
What cartoon though?
What was it? That's what I'm saying. Like when they were trying to watch their cartoons, I was trying to watch my own stuff. And I read that show with the dog that talked.
That's like 10 shows.
It's like a oh, you know what else I really like? Lamb chops, play along, right? And then the song never ends. This is
That was for babies.
First of all,
That was for babies. That was like watching Sesame Street or.
Well, how could we not mention Sesame Street? We like Sesame Street.
It's also for babies.
Okay, it's for babies, but Sesame Street.
I mean, I watched it, but
Okay, so what you trying me to see if you were watching the drum?
it wasn't a cartoon. We're talking about cartoons.
Okay, fine, sure.
I mean, I was also watching NBA basketball when I was that age and wrestling.
Me too.
I like WWF.
WWF.
That's not up for discussion right now.
It's WWE.
It is now. It wasn't then. Look, y'all remember the World Wrestling Federation? They had WWF superstars that came on the weekend, like Saturday and Sunday. That's when they would just have the stars just beating up on some super nobody. Like, it was always a nobody. See, eventually they made the whole primetime Monday Night Raw, Monday Nitro for WCW. That's when they really started kicking up the storyline. Like, before that, I mean, they had some storylines, but it was more like Mean Gene, rest in peace. They used to be out talking to Macho Man, rest in peace. Ultimate Warrior, rest in peace. My dad was real into wrestling. My dad's still real into wrestling. My mom, she didn't let us watch wrestling because she was too afraid that we would become violent. So I used to try to go out of my way to be like, oh, this is so fake. Oh, I know it's like, my mom was sitting there like. So every time they would come around, they would always go on tour. They would always come where I grew up. And my dad would go and leave us home because my mom would not let him take us. I was so mad.
Well, you know for sure they weren't touring in the Virgin Islands.
So, at some point, my mom read one of those Ben Carson books. Was one of those Gifted Hands or one of those. And so she got on this whole, you all watch too much TV thing. So, at that point, because apparently Ben Carson wasn't allowed to watch TV or when he was a kid or whatever. So, my mom's made this rule where we could each watch an hour and a half of TV a week, right? Now that makes no sense. I was a huge NBA fan, you know, Sixers fan, all of that. I was like, Mom, an hour and a half, that's not even enough to watch one game. She was like, well, that's just, I'm like, well, whatever. So we had to pick ahead, like in advance of the week. So say Sunday morning, we had to like let her know what 3 half-hour shows we wanted to watch for the week so she could clear our time slots. And we couldn't double up. So I couldn't watch, if my brother had a show he was gonna watch, I couldn't watch it with him and have it like not count against my time.
That's dumb. Ooh, mama.
I mean, that didn't last very long. So eventually I went to my mom's because it was like playoff time. And it's cool to like say you can't watch a game if it's a regular season, but playoff come, you 8, 9 years old. I'm like, look, I need to be able to watch this. Like, I'm a good kid, whatever. So what we did though is we went to my dad. You gotta go to my dad. He's the one who's sympathetic to my sports needs at that age. So I would just be like, my dad would come home and turn the TV right on because he'd be at work all day. He don't really care about the rules. So my mom would come in, are you supposed to be watching TV? He'd be like, nah, I'm just sitting here. I'm not doing this. Dad's watching TV. I'm just playing with my toys in the vicinity. Well, my dad used to get me out of it. What are you gonna do? Like, you gonna make him watch the game by himself when he got like super basketball loving sons who are trying to watch the game too? My mom gonna send us upstairs to do what?
We didn't have any rules like that. We just had to make sure our chores were done, homework was done. So long as the house was clean, dishes washed, everybody ate, homework done, and we weren't failing in school. I think I want to say we were all pretty like A students. We were doing pretty well. My mom could not not to mention, we only really could watch TV from the time that school was finished to the time that they got home. Because by the time my dad came home, that was it. He had a remote, ain't nobody touching his remote. he could fall asleep watching TV with the remote in hand. If he tried to even touch the up button on the channel while the remote is still in his hand, he would wake up and be like, I'm watching that. I used to just be like, you know what? So you just sit down and you watch the Westerns, because that's he used to watch the Westerns. He used to watch Star Trek and all that stuff. I mean, way back when Star Trek didn't look so high functioning and well done. But
so what's a new cartoon that you actually like, or a newish, or came out after your childhood?
I don't know, man. I don't really think I can't think of one cartoon that I watch right now. I mean, I remember I was doing these girls' hair. This is back in Maryland, and they were watching Einstein, Baby Einstein, and Dr. McStuffins. I thought that was it was okay. And then Peppa Pig, but
Peppa Pig. Look, you pronouncing all these wrong.
It's Peppa Pig.
It's Peppa Pig. She's British, I think.
Well, whatever. The point is that I'm not too familiar with the current cartoons. I'm not like a huge fan of SpongeBob.
I love SpongeBob.
I mean, SpongeBob, first of all, I don't really think SpongeBob SquarePants is I don't think it's for kids. Like, I don't think it's for like super young kids. Maybe for the older kids, like the, like the 10s, 11s, 12s, but you can't have your 4-year-old.
Subject matter? SpongeBob is a lovable idiot. He has like no idea what's happening, right? He's so naive and like, he's a fool.
Well, why are we teaching our kids to be fools though? I just feel like, I don't know.
Nobody's saying SpongeBob was a hero. He's there for laughs. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess, but kids are sponges at that age. They're like, oh, SpongeBob's doing this dumb thing. Let me do this dumb thing too. No, your butt is gonna get whooped. No, but the kids don't know the difference at 4 or 5. They don't know that that's not something they shouldn't emulate. They're watching it and they're like, oh, maybe a 10-year-old, 9-year-old.
4 and 5-year-olds were watching SpongeBob. Not like that.
Yeah, they were. Especially if they have older siblings. They're sitting there like, oh yeah, okay. That's what I need to do.
They're not doing that.
Do better. Mentally speaking, don't let me get a psychological, mukbang video. It's supposed to be all fun and games.
I'll tell you what I like. I did like SpongeBob. I like Adventure Time.
I don't know what Adventure Time.
You don't know any of these cartoons. I know you don't pay any attention to this stuff.
I don't have time.
What else do I like? I don't know. I have to sit down and think about it, but I do like a few. Like I can sit there and watch them and like be entertained. And then I remember there was always like some adult cartoons. Not adult, but they were mature cartoons. I remember when Ren and Stimpy came out, Beavis and Butthead. There was like all this controversy about them. And of course, Beavis and Butthead made way for South Park.
Oh.
I don't know that I ever liked South Park. It was just so like profane that it made it funny at that age. Because I was like a kid, but watching kids do that stuff.
South Park was not allowed, man.
I don't watch South Park now. I wouldn't watch it now. I mean, not that it's a bad show, but I don't know.
South Park was not allowed. Like, I mean, it came on. I think my aunt maybe used to watch it. And it was just so dumb. We would just look at each other like, this is just so dumb.
But we didn't even talk about Nickelodeon though. They had Doug.
Oh my gosh, I love Doug.
Rugrats.
Oh my gosh, and Rugrats. I can't believe we didn't talk about none of that stuff. Rugrats. Listen.
They had those variety shows too, but those are cartoons that I really like.
Rugrats. Yo, Doug was my favorite. I remember I told this dude, I met him one time and I said, you know who you remind me of? You remind me of Doug. And Beans was like, how you gonna say the dude look like a cartoon character? But for me, like,
first of all, it's like 2016.
Dog is like so lovable and friendly. It was a teen boy that we were mentoring, him along with one of his friends. We had them over for dinner, you know, doing a little mentorship thing. And the moment I saw him, I was like, you remind me of somebody, I just don't know who. And in the middle of dinner, I was like, that's it! You remind me of Don!
He was a cartoon character. The dude's whole facial expression dropped. He wasn't laughing no more.
He didn't even know who Doug is!
His cousin who was there was completely joning on him at that point. I'm like, this dude's like a 13-year-old. I'm like, look what you did. You like made this whole day for this kid terrible.
So I explained to him that for me, from my experience, Doug was a lovable character. I associate him with positive thoughts in my, you know, growth and development.
I'm not sure about that.
And so for me, it was a huge compliment that he reminded me of something that warmed my heart.
He was bald. He had barely any facial expression.
First of all, Doug had a sweep over. You just couldn't see the hair in between the 4 strands that were dominant, but he had a comb over. A
12-year-old with a comb over.
It was good. It was good. He had a nice little do. It was a little fade. That's all it was. A little fade with a comb over in the front. He wasn't bald. You know, his hair was just the same color of his skin.
His friend Skeeter. Who's the Skeeter?
Skeeter
was black. First of all, let's deal with that fact. Skeeter was black.
Oh, here we go.
They didn't want to call him black. They made him purple, but that was a black dude.
Skeeter was smart though.
He was athletic. I feel like he liked hip hop. He liked the beats. Like Doug liked the beats, which was supposed to be the Beatles, I guess. These
drinks, can't wait to take a swig. These are super good. Anything else you have to say? Any parting words?
Well, what are these drinks? Fentimans Botanically Brewed Mandarin and Seville Orange Jigger. This is fermented apparently. We didn't get this from Aldi's. I don't know if you've ever had it, ever tried it before. It's okay. It's not great. But yeah, Fentimans Jigger. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, we'll see y'all later.